This video will provide an overview of the new Farsight plus VTC crash test in automotive assessment workflow in Oasys 21. Farsight plus VTC crash test has been added in the automotive assessments workflow to support the new Euro NCAP virtual Farsight simulation and assessment protocol. Support for all 115 channels which are required for the new Euro NCAP virtual Farsight simulation and assessment protocol has been added in this new crash test. Now, let's see how we can write out the automotive assessment user data for this crash test through a short demo. First, after reading the vehicle model into Oasys Primer, we must open Automotive Assessment Workflow tool. When we open it for the first time, the panel will look like this. Next, select Farsight plus VTC crash test from the crash test pop-up. We now need to assign entity IDs for each of those 115 channels. This will be used to configure the mapping of LS-DYNA entities to ISO channels. We can start doing that for the occupant channels first. For that, click on this Add button. Then select the appropriate occupant from the drop-down. In this case, it will be version 7.6 RHD as that is the model which is currently ready. After selection, we can see that all the entity IDs are listed automatically from the occupant JSON file. Click on the Add button to add this occupant. Entity ID selection for all the occupant channels is now finished, and we can move on and do the same for the structure channels. To keep the demo short, we can do it just for the driver seat channels. For that, click on driver seat button to open driver seat structure entity selection window. Now, we need to assign entity IDs for each of these 4 channels. To do that, right-click on the text box to open entity selection pop-up. In version 21, to make multiple path selection easier, we have added 3 new options in this pop-up. Select by part, select by set part, and select by include. Here we can use select by include option as we have got a separate include file for the driver seat. As there are too many paths for the driver's seat, we just show the total number of paths that will be selected, which is 109 in this case. We now need to repeat the same process for the remaining 3 channels, as ideally the entity list will be same for all the 4 channels. Once done, click on Update All button. We can skip selecting entity IDs for the remaining structure channels to keep the demo short. Once the entity ID selection is made for all the channels, we can save the automotive assessment user data after selecting the appropriate units. So, through this demo, we have seen how we can write out the automotive assessment user data for Farsight plus VTC crash test. Now, this user data can be used in our new LS-DYNA to ISO converter workflow tool to export all the channels in the ISO format. Thank you for watching. Please check out other Oasys 21 burst videos on virtual testing.